The Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Top flight competition between teams from Houston-area high schools. Now, here's the woman with the questions, Donna Rush.
Welcome to the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. This is an important week because it is the last game of the quarterfinals. One of these two teams today will become one of 4 teams to enter the semifinals. Our teams today are St. John's and Kingwood, and they are ready to compete, as is this crowd ready to cheer today. Before we begin our warm-up round, though, we want to remind you of the different sounds that you'll be hearing. This means a question is correct. This means an incorrect answer. And this signals the end of a quarter or the end of the game. We also want to remind you to wait until you are recognized by a judge before giving an answer. We'll begin our warm-up round with a 5-point question. Lillian Hellman wrote about toys in one, and Shel Silverstein wrote about a light in one. Complete the title.
Kingwood, Meredith.
An attic? Correct, the attic. 4 5 points. How many days are there from September 1st to the last day of December, inclusive?
St. John's, Tellin.
122.
Correct, 122. Here's a 10-point question for you. On many IQ tests, including the Binet scales, scores are in terms of MA, which stands for what?
Kingwood, Meredith.
Mental age. That is correct. And here's a 10-point question for you. 19th century robber baron Jay Gould made his first fortune in a proverbial way. He came up with a better type of a certain household contraption. What is it?
Kingwood, Matt.
Mousetrap?
Mousetrap is right. Here's a 5-point visual question for you, so please take a look at your monitor in the studio of Houston's 2. This building dominates the skyline in which?
Kingwood, Mark.
In San Francisco, the Transamerica Tunnel.
In which city? That's correct. Here's a 10-pointer for you. Russia is facing many of the same problems as the United States as they change their emphasis from defense to domestic issues.
St. John's, Tellin.
A recession?
Finish the question for Kingwood. Russian reformers call this process conversia, which translates to what English word?
Kingwood, Brian.
Conversion?
Correct, conversion. Here's a 5-point question for you. In which one of the following 4 planet-moon systems is the ratio of moon size to planet size the greatest?
Kingwood, Mark.
Jupiter.
Okay, Jupiter and
Ganymede.
Ganymede, Saturn and Titan, Earth and Moon, or Neptune and Triton?
St. John's, Anna.
Saturn and Titan. Looking for the Earth and Moon in that one. Here's a 10-pointer for you. Translate this German sentence into English. Moten Sie heute Abend mit mir einkaufen gehen? Gehen, excuse me.
St. John's, Ryan.
Would you like to go shopping with me this evening?
Congratulations for translating that less than perfect German of mine. Here's a 5-point question for you. The planet Uranus was originally named after King George's star. Which King George was it named for?
Kingwood, Matt.
The first, George?
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Ryan.
George III?
Correct, George III. Here's a 5-point music question for you, so listen carefully. What country is associated with the following melody?
St. John's, Ryan.
Germany?
Kingwood.
Kingwood, Matt.
Spain?
Ireland is what we're looking for. Here's a 5-pointer for you. All these names are associated with the famous monkey trial of the 1920s, except John Scopes, Daniel Webster, Charles...
Kingwood, Mark.
Daniel Webster.
Correct. We now have a celebrity question for you, so please take a look at your monitor in the studio of Houston's 2 for this 10-point question.
Hello, I'm Pastor James Dixon of the Northwest Community Church. I hope you have your thinking cap on. Got a great question for you. In the Gospel of Matthew, the value of entering the kingdom of heaven is likened unto which gem?
Kingwood, Matt.
An emerald?
Stands for St. John's.
St. John's, Anna.
Pearl. That's right, a pearl of great price. Here's a 10-pointer, and you may want to use your pencils on this one. When using the mirror equation, 1 over P plus 1 over Q equals 1 over F, where P is the distance of the object from the mirror, Q is the image's distance from the mirror, and F is the focal length. If the image is virtual, is Q positive, negative, both?
Kingwood, Matt.
It is negative.
That is correct, or neither, and it is negative. There's the correct answer on that one. Here's a 5-pointer for you. According to the U.S. Constitution and its amendments, what is the maximum number of terms a person is allowed?
Kingwood, Mark.
2 terms.
I'll finish the question. Is allowed to be elected to the office of vice president?
St. John's, Ryan.
There is no limit.
That is correct. No limit. Here's a 10-point visual question for you, so take a look at your monitor in the studio of Houston's 2. What type of object is pictured here?
Kingwood, Brian.
Asteroid?
Asteroid is right. And here's another 10-pointer for you. Who first said, "It ain't over till it's over"?
St. John's, Ryan.
Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra said it. He indeed did. And that does mark the end of the warm-up round. But stay with us when we come back. We'll take a look at that scoreboard, and we'll begin our bonus round on the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Welcome back to the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Quite a game going here. Both teams now warmed up. St. John's with 45 points and Kingwood with 65 points. We're about to head into round 2, our bonus round. But before we do, we want to introduce you to our fine players today. We're going to begin with Kingwood High School. The captain today is Matt Stone. He is a senior. He is a National Merit semifinalist and an academic decathlon member. He also went to UIL state competition. Brian McAuliffe is a senior. He's an Eagle Scout, an academic decathlon competitor, and he enjoys canoeing. Meredith Patterson is a junior. She is with the academic decathlon competition as well. She is editor-in-chief of Young Writers Guild and on the Lincoln Douglas debate team. Mark Monnier, is a senior. He is a member of the state academic decathlon team and the National Latin Society, also a member of the National Honor Society and an Eagle Scout. The alternates are Jeremy Rose and Lee Bailey. The coaches are Judy Herman and Mark Bowman. That is the team from Kingwood High School. On the top tier this morning, we have St. John's School. The captain is Anna Preby. She is a senior and a National Merit semifinalist. She spent the summer in Poland. Kellen Bennett is a senior, and he is a National Merit semifinalist, as well as an all-conference guard on the varsity football team. Ted Calvin is also a senior. He is a National Merit semifinalist. He's also the yearbook editor and an Eagle Scout. Ryan Bersiker is a junior. He is on the varsity volleyball team, and he won an all-expense-paid trip to Germany. That's why he got that German question right earlier. The alternates are Jennifer Feather and Nicholas Bailey. The coaches are Alice Nelson and Kim Jones, and that is the team from St. John's School. We also want to introduce our judges to you. We have Professor Tom Hudson with the Department of Physics at the University of Houston, and Mike Mastandria, who is Executive Director of Score Unlimited. And, of course, we have our cheering crowd today as well. We're about to begin our bonus round, and I'll just explain to you briefly. The first team to properly answer a toss-up question will then have the opportunity to play for bonus points. The bonus category will be elements that you'll be playing for. Here's a 10-point toss-up question. Translate this foreign phrase into English. Iron Hand botched die andere.
Eine Hand. St. John's, Ryan.
One hand washes the other.
Correct. Once again, getting on that German. Here is your bonus questions in elements for 5 points. What is the atomic number of each of these elements? Helium. 2. For 10 points, carbon. 6. Fluorine. 7. 9 on that one. Looking for 9, but you did get some extra points there. Let's go to another toss-up. For 10 points, Novels with a great display of fanciful swordplay are generally referred to, but by what equally fanciful name?
St. John's Ted.
Swashbucklers?
Swashbucklers is right. Your bonus category is food. Here's a 5-point question for you. Though popularly associated with clams, it's any thick, rich soup containing bite-sized chunks. Chowder's correct. For 10 points, what is the term for a food that is part of the basic diet of a society?
Staple.
Correct. For 15 points, what's the other meat found in a traditional veal cordon bleu?
Chicken.
Ham is what we're looking for. That is the other meat. Let's go now to another toss-up question worth 10 points. Rather than painting murals on canvases, early Greek artists often chose another medium for painting their pictures.
Kingwood, Mark.
Plaster walls?
I'll finish the question for St. John's. For, another medium for leaving their pictures to posterity. On what objects did they paint?
St. John's, Anna.
Pottery.
Pottery is right. U.S. geography is the bonus category for 5 points. Identify the eastern boundary of the land bought in the Louisiana Purchase.
The Mississippi River.
Right, for 10 points. If you leave Santa Monica, California, and drive east on Interstate 10, where do you run out of road? Chicago, Jacksonville, Miami, or Houston?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's right. For 15 points, New York City's metropolitan area includes portions of New Jersey and Connecticut. What other state is considered part of the metropolitan area of Louisville, Kentucky?
Tennessee.
Indiana is the answer on that one. So let's go to another toss-up question worth 10 points. Here's a music question. Tell me who composed this comic opera.
My obstacle sublime.
Kingwood, Meredith.
Mozart. Chance for St. John's.
The crime, the punishment fits the crime, and makes each prisoner pens, unwillingly represents a soul.
Consultation, St. John's. Be careful.
All right, we were looking for Gilbert and Sullivan on that one. Here's another toss-up worth 10 points. Marmot is the largest member of the squirrel family. Marmoset is the smallest member of which family?
Kingwood, Matt.
The rodents?
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Ted.
Primate?
Monkey family is what we're looking for. For 10 points. Duke University is in North Carolina, and Duquesne University is in
Duquesne.
which state?
And Duquesne University.
Duquesne University is in which state?
Kingwood, Matt.
Maryland?
St. John's, Tellin.
Wisconsin.
It's in Pennsylvania. Here's another 10-point toss-up. Who was the first Navy veteran to become president?
Kingwood, Matt.
George Washington?
Chance for St. John's?
St. John's, Ryan.
George Bush?
It was, but it's Kennedy, so we're looking for. Now get your pencils ready for this math question. The side of a square has length 5 times the square root of 2. What is the area of the...
Kingwood, Matt.
50 square units?
That is correct. The area of the square. Here's your toss-up category is in Native American tribes. Name the 4 largest Native American tribes according to the 1990 census. You'll earn 5 points for the first one. You can name 10 for the second and so forth. Fire when ready.
Navajos? Navajos?
Correct? Okay.
Cherokee? The Sioux?
Your answer?
The Iroquois?
The Chippewa was the final one, the Chippewa. And that marks the end of the bonus round. Stay with us when we come back to take a look at that scoreboard. Plus, we'll enter our 62nd round. Our teams will have the opportunity to choose from one of these 4 categories: states, showbiz, ozone, and that mystery category on the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Welcome back to the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. We're about to begin round 3, and as we do, let's look at that scoreboard, and you can see the quality of competition that we have today as we're in our quarterfinals. St. John's at 120 and Kingwood 100. A very close game, but lots of time to go. Before we begin our 60-second round, I want to let you know that the questions for the Texaco Star Academic Challenge are written by Questions Unlimited of Columbus, Ohio. Now, to give Kingwood the opportunity to rack up some points, they will be allowed to go first in choosing a category. What will it be for you?
We're going to choose ozone.
All right, in the ozone, there are no directions for this, so we will, judges, begin the clock. Ozone is a molecule made up of how many oxygen atoms?
3.
In which layer of Earth's atmosphere will you find the ozone layer?
Stratosphere.
The ozone layer is our shield against what hazardous solar rays?
Ultraviolet rays.
Name any one of the common uses of chlorofluorocarbons, known to be the chief agents of ozone destruction.
Air conditioning.
Chlorine atoms from CFCs attack the ozone, taking one oxygen atom away and forming what compound?
Hypochlorite.
A large ozone hole over what continent was confirmed in 1985?
Antarctica.
William Riley, administrator of this government agency, said the U.S. should seek to end CFC production as soon as possible.
The EPA.
Name any one of the 3 most common effects of ultraviolet light on human health.
Skin cancer, sunburn.
Doctors recommend you minimize the time spent in the sun during what 5-hour period each day?
10 to 3. 10 to 3. 11 to 4.
Time runs out. They got
Okay.
70 points.
All right, 70 points on that one. St. John's now has the opportunity to answer 2 questions. Chlorine atoms from CFCs attack the ozone, taking one oxygen atom away and forming what compound?
Carbon dioxide.
Chlorine monoxide is what we were looking for. The other question, doctors recommend you minimize the time spent in the sun during what 5-hour period each day?
10 to 3.
10 to 3 is correct. So 20 extra points there for St. John's. Now St. John's has the opportunity to choose a category. What will it be?
States.
In the state category, you may want to write these down. The Spanish, French, Portuguese, Dutch, and English, along with American Indians and others, all influence the origin of our state's names. Identify the origins of these state names. Judges, begin the clock. California.
Indian.
Maine.
Latin.
New Jersey.
English.
Virginia.
English.
Florida.
Spanish.
Iowa.
Indian.
Vermont.
English.
Nevada.
Indian.
Minnesota.
Indian.
Alaska.
Indian.
I count 50 points
50
on that.
points
one.
is right.
50 points. So Kingwood now has the opportunity to answer 5 of the questions. The origins of these states. California.
Spanish.
Correct. Maine.
Indian.
French, actually. Vermont.
French.
Correct. Nevada.
Spanish.
And Alaska.
America.
Russian.
That's 48 points. Congratulations. Both teams doing a fine job in that round. That brings the 60-second round to a close. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll begin our Stump the Experts round, and we'll take a look at that scoreboard on the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Welcome back to the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. We are entering the final quarter of the final game in the quarterfinals, if that makes sense to you. But here the score is at this point is St. John's with 180 and Kingwood at 210. One of these teams hoping to go on to the semifinals. We have our final round, and it is the Stump the Experts round. These questions are more difficult, and they're worth 15 and 20 points. We begin with a 20-point visual question for you. The artist was taciturn and impassive. A man?
Kingwood, Brian. Hopper.
Edward Hopper, correct. A man of few words. Here's a 15-pointer for you. Dirty pool is a slang for cheating or dishonesty. What specifically is dirty rice?
Kingwood, Meredith.
Tex-Mex rice. Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Anna.
It's fried rice with a lot of things put into it. With a lot of vegetables and...
Specifically, it's a New Orleans dish of spicy rice with chicken giblets. All right, for 20 points. Peacocks were often seen on large estates in the colonial era, but they weren't just there because of their beautiful plumage. What other purpose did they serve?
Kingwood, Brian.
Meat. Poultry.
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Ryan.
They served as watchdogs. They alerted for intruders.
Correct, to have a very loud cry when someone comes around. Here's a 15-pointer for you. What opera opens with this scene? On the right, the door of a tobacco factory. At the back, a bridge. On the left, a guardhouse, in front of which Corporal Morales and the soldiers are grouped. The opera is Carmen. Here's a 20-pointer for you. Which three languages appear on Israeli coins and postage stamps?
Kingwood, Matt. St. John's, Ryan.
English, Hebrew, and Arabic.
Correct. Here's a 15-pointer for you, and it's a music question, so listen carefully. Considered a grande dame of American theater, this individual performed for audiences over several decades. Listen to this selection, taken from one of her greatest triumphs, and identify the vocalist.
How I wish the folks at home could only see.
Kingwood, Matt.
Liza Minnelli.
Chance for St. John's.
Getting paid for doing what comes naturally. Let's go on with the show.
And the show must go on. That is Ethel Merman, as we're looking for 15 points. The following lines by Robert Louis Stevenson in Hawaii were inspired by his witnessing what disease? I have seen sights that cannot be told.
St. John's, Anna.
Tuberculosis.
I'll continue the quote. Of old Damien, whose weakness and worst perhaps I heard fully.
Kingwood, Matt.
Yellow fever.
Looking for leprosy. A 15-pointer, which term from the Greek for steersman was coined in 1948 by American mathematician Norbert Wiener to designate the science dealing with the comparative study of human...
Kingwood, Mark.
Statistics.
Study of human control systems and complex electronic systems.
St. John's, Ted.
Digital.
Cybernetics. For 20 points. Name the great Muslim warrior who captured Jerusalem in 1187. The Muslims regarded him as a saintly hero, and even Christians honored him for his honesty and bravery.
Kingwood, Matt.
Suleiman.
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Tellin.
Tamerlane.
Saladin. For 15 points. The Lyceum, a grove and gymnasium of ancient Attica, is remembered as the location where what would take place?
St. John's, Tellin.
The Olympics.
Chance for Kingwood.
Kingwood, Mark.
Gladiator matches.
Aristotle taught there. Here's a 20-point visual, so please take a look at your monitor in the studio of Houston's 2. Gainsborough's is the most famous blue boy. Whose is this?
Kingwood, Brian.
Casa.
That is correct, for 20 points. Here's another 20-pointer for you. Name the fastest-selling environmental hardcover book of all time.
St. John's, Ryan.
Earth in the Balance.
That is correct, and it's by our Vice President, as a matter of fact, Al Gore. For 15 points. According to AT&T, on what holiday are the most long-distance phone calls?
Kingwood, Matt.
Christmas.
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Ted.
Mother's Day.
Correct, Mother's Day. It's a long call. For 20 points. The secret society known as the Mau Mau violently opposed British rule in what country?
St. John's, Ted.
China.
Chance for Kingwood.
Kingwood, Meredith.
Kenya? Kenya's right. Here's a 15-pointer for you. Name the 5 Great Lakes in order of size, beginning with the largest in surface area.
Kingwood, Brian.
Superior. Huron. Michigan. Ontario. Erie.
Chance for St. John's.
Consultation, St. John's.
All right.
2 minutes left.
Very close. Erie and Ontario were the last 2. And for 20 points, there's the music, so listen carefully. Written by Harvard graduate Leroy Anderson, it was the first purely instrumental number to top the hit parade. Listen and name that tune. The Blue Tango for 15 points. What organization, following the credo, Honor the Dead by Helping the Living lobbies for better benefits and financial help for former servicemen.
St. John's, Ryan.
The Veterans Association?
Chance for Kingwood.
Kingwood, Mark.
Purple Heart?
Close, Ryan. It was Veterans of Foreign Wars, the VFW, for 20 points. Tens of thousands of sandhill cranes can be seen every March in the San Luis Valley on their annual trek from Texas to Canada. The valley is located just south of the Rio Grande National Forest and east of the San Juan National Forest. To what state would you have to go to observe this annual migration?
St. John's, Ryan.
Texas?
Chance for
Kingwood,
Kingwood.
Mark.
New Mexico?
Colorado for 15 points. 90% of America's crop in the Rose family comes from California. Its commercial varieties include the Royal and the China East. Name this fruit native to China that resembles a peach but is less fuzzy.
Kingwood, Brian.
Nectarine?
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Tellon.
Apricot?
That is correct, for 15 points. In World War I, he won 7 Silver Stars, an American Expeditionary Force record. Returning to America, he was unexpectedly named Commandant of West Point. Such was the early career.
St. John's, Ryan.
MacArthur?
Correct, General Douglas MacArthur. And that marks the end of the game. Judges, this is 4 correct. Very close one. All right, that means that St. John will now be headed to the semifinals in a very good game by Kingwood. Congratulations to both teams. Be sure and join us next week as the semifinals get underway. We'll pit Langham Creek with James Taylor on the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Have a great weekend.